Hello folks, and welcome back to Medieval Total War. I am Dynastic, and this is going to be part 3 of my early campaign where I'm playing as Egypt. And yeah, this is just we're getting on with our slow build up to this campaign here. As I have mentioned before, I'm not going to be blitzing the Turks or the Byzantines or the Almohads or anyone for that matter. I intend on making a lot of money, just an absolute ton of money on trade from these provinces, and that is something that is going to scale up as there are more and more ports that are added to this map. As we begin the campaign, we just begin the camp. You know, there's just only the ports that we begin with, right? So like, this is what's already here. The port in Constantinople, Greece, the islands, Egypt. You know, there's a few more scattered about. It's enough to make like some money in the early game, but as factions build more and more ports, you're obviously going to be making more and more money. And that is something, I don't know if I have explained trade yet in this campaign, but for those of you who are new to this game, you just need a port first, and you need to connect that port with another province's port using boats. And you need an unbroken chain of boats in all of these sea regions to connect to another province's port. You do not trade with your own provinces. It's only going to be with other factions' provinces. And obviously, you're not going to be trading with your enemies either. It's going to be neutral or allies. So it's going to be important to keep, you know, neutral or allied with a lot of other factions, because if you end up at war with a bunch of factions, like say if a bunch of Western factions are declaring crusades against me in my provinces, then all of a sudden trade is cut off with, you know, France, Germany, England, Italy, maybe Spain. You know, that can be a lot of potential money that is disappearing, which can be very stressful. So yeah, it's going to be sort of a game within a game to sort of manage my economy throughout all of that. But first things first, let's get that trade fleet going, and also just having a fleet to defend my provinces, right? Because making the crusades march overland through Byzantine territory, and then maybe even the Turkish territory into my lands is going to be a bit harder for them. But if they can start using their boats to launch naval invasions on my territories, that's going to be very stressful for me. So just having boats to blockade my my coast is going to be good. Again, for those of you who are new, simply you can't do a naval attack on a coast that has that faction's boats, you know, defending them. So you need to essentially initiate your naval invasion by destroying the boats first. And once they are cleared out and you have a clear line, you know, again, connecting your ports to the province that you intend to attack, then you can launch your naval invasion. So it can give you at least a turn, right? Because even if you do get beaten, like just outright by a bunch of boats, at least you have that one turn to sort of prepare, like, oh, crap, they could be coming, right? So having those boats in the water is going to be very, very important. And I think I might be ready to start getting a keep going here in Egypt. This is going to be my tier 2 fortification. It costs 1,000 florins. It takes 8 turns to build it. It's probably time, you know. A boyar, sure, that can let me train archers. That could be nice. Trading post is going to make me more money once I get my trade fleets going. You do make a little bit of money from overland trade, but not much. So that's probably not worth it quite yet. And improved farmland. This is the second tier upgrade. That could be good. I'm making 820 on just the first tier farm upgrade, which is really not bad, you know. But maybe not yet. Maybe let's just go back to that after I maybe get some boats. I'm working on boats at that point. Horse farmer 2, I will build that eventually. Egypt does give a +1 valor bonus to Mamluk cavalry, so that's something that I will be teching up to eventually. And that's a very easy unit to tech up to. It just requires a horse breeder, which is just the second tier horse building. So yeah, that's not going to take too long at all, I don't think. So let's keep going there. We're still working on a fort here in Sinai. And then these 4 provinces have finished their forts, so we can just get the watchtower going. In each of these provinces, they're very cheap, and they only take 1 turn to build. I love those buildings. They're just so easy. And now that we have these fort built, we can finally start training these peasants. Let's just get these guys in here. In fact, do I even need... I noticed that we already have 2 peasants here, so I can probably bring down... As I was saying before, I only intend to really have standing armies here in Tripoli and Sinai. And hopefully that should be enough to defend against, or repulse any potential attacks. I'm allied with the Turks. They should not attack me. That would be very bad for them. They would lose influence on their faction leader if they did. And then who's in charge now? So the 6 loyalty guys in charge. That's good. That's what I like to see. Let's just put them in there. You don't have to do this. I just do it just to make the province look a little bit cleaner. And yeah, we can start building up here in Tripoli, and then yeah, let's get some peasants going there. I also want to train peasants just so that I can also potentially get some more governors with 4 acumen. I'm still waiting to assign a governor to Arabia, Palestine, and Sinai. It might seem a little bit silly, honestly. Arabia, it makes so little money, you know, 44 income, and then Sinai's 57 income, so it's a very, very small amount. But I just feel like getting some good governors first. And I was mistaken before when I was saying that I could be training Bedouin camel warriors from every single province with the fort. That's not true. I realized, yeah, Palestine, Tripoli, Antioch cannot do that. Sinai, I don't have a fort yet. In Egypt, I can. Yes, I can. So it must be a geographical thing, right? Yeah, I'm not sure what the exact limitations are, but it must be at least these 2 provinces, and maybe I could do that if I took Cyrenaica and maybe some of these other desert provinces. It's not limited. Well, both of these are sand desert, and you can see down there sand desert as well. You can also tell just because it looks different, right? Like Sinai, that looks like rock desert, and all of these rock desert provinces have like a darker brown to it, so maybe the Bedouin Camel Warriors is just a sand desert unit. I guess that would make sense. But yeah, let's get some Camel Warriors going here in Arabia. Just get some camel muscle going out. And let's see. What else do we want? Maybe... Do I want... Yeah, let's consolidate. Let's consolidate. Let's bring Nubian Spear up to Tripoli, and then I'll wait until... So technically, I could move this guy in this turn, and then these Bedouin Camel Warriors that I'm training here in Arabia, technically they will be finished in time to count as a defender if the Turks were to attack in this turn, and he were to be gone. That unit would be available to fight. But just to be safe, let's just kind of hang him out. He can hang out here, and yeah, Sinai, this guy only has 1 loyalty. I don't like that. So let's bring you over. You have better loyalty, so maybe you can help out. Let's keep training Nubian Spears here in Egypt, and yeah, that looks good for now. Everyone's training stuff, everyone's building stuff. You can probably still, even though I already have 2 peasants up here, since I'm not going to be training peasants here in Arabia, let's just train them here in Antioch, and they can be brought down just to speed things up. So yeah, that's probably going to be it for this turn. And oh yeah, my emissary. I'm still contemplating whether or not I want to try to get an alliance with the Byzantines, or if I want to save that for when I want to use that to break my alliance with the Turks. That's sort of my only tool to break that alliance without losing influence. So yeah, I'm undecided. I haven't quite figured that out yet. I don't feel threatened by the Byzantines. I really don't. So for now, let's just keep scouting about. I can come up here into Rum. Rum is the capital of the Turks, and I can kind of just see what they're focusing on right now. The Turks start off landlocked, which is a really tough spot for them to be in. So yeah, I can just keep taking a peek around with my emissary, and then down here, it looks like the Almohads are sending their emissary to potentially go talk to my Sultan, so that We can perhaps get an alliance. I would probably take that again, even though, yeah, I know that I have to take Cyrenacia at some point off of them. I would probably still take that alliance just to make sure, you know. So yeah, that's probably going to be fine. Palestine, you're a little bit yellow, aren't you? Okay, let's just drop this down. Yeah, that's probably going to be fine. Normal, 110, that looks fine, that looks fine. Yeah, that's good enough. Now my second heir has matured, Prince Baybars. So we can take a peek at him. It looks like he has 3 command stars, so far so good. And yes, watchtowers are finished here in these provinces. Yep, that's all good. And the Sicilians are looking for an alliance. I don't have any intention on ever attacking them. And their fleets can, at some point, they can become a nuisance. So I would take an alliance. I doubt that they're gonna keep that alliance once the other Catholic factions start to go to war with me, but yeah, for now I will accept this. And what do we got here? Charismatic, so plus 10 happiness and plus 1 morale. That's a good one. That's a good one. That works for him if he is a governor or a general. He's probably not going to be he's probably not going to be either, to be honest. But if you were to become either of those, that would help out. Prince Baybars, unfortunately, he's a chinless wonder, so that's one of those, what is it called? Incest traits, that's right, yeah. For a moment there, I forgot what that was called. Yeah, so this has nothing to do with your in-game actions. This is just a random thing that happens to your people, which is really, so like for the Muslims, you can't actually, like, on purpose commit incest, but playing as the Catholic factions, you can by having, you know, your daughter marry your sons. But even that also has like no bearing on this trait. This is just a random thing that pops up, and it's bad. It's a bad trait. -1 acumen and -1 command, and I think this gets worse, or it just like, or there's just different levels of it, and you depends on what level you get. I can't remember. I can't remember if it's like, yeah, I can't remember if this is the one that scales, or there's just different types of it, and you might end up with that type. So in this case, yeah, -1 acumen, -1 command for my second in command. That's pretty bad. But natural leader, this is a good one. So plus 2 morale and then plus 1 loyalty. So that's good. And the Sultan is great builder, so plus 1 loyalty to all generals. That does help out a lot. And then plus 10 happiness in all provinces, and that's going to help me raise my taxes a bit as well. So yeah, that's pretty decent. Let's check out Prince Baybars. So 4 loyalty, that's okay. I can work with that, you know. He doesn't have to be babysat by his dad. No acumen, but yeah, the 3 command is okay, and the piety is okay as well. He could be a general, you know, he could be. The thing is that right now I only really need 2 standing armies, 1 in Sinai and then 1 in Tripoli. Although I do intend on having at least a couple units in Egypt, just to sort of stare across the border menacingly at the Almohads, just to sort of make sure they behave themselves. Right now, there's no point. I mean, they just have a unit of Burma Camels and Desert Archers, so I'll keep an eye on this. I'll keep an eye on that, but yeah, for now, maybe Prince Baybars just hangs out with the family. Yeah, they can all hang out together. And then that's a pretty decent little stack there. I want to get these units. Let's merge you guys. So now I can just retrain this Nubian spear at some point and get him up to 100 men, but maybe not quite yet. And who's in charge? The 2 loyalty guy? Ugh, that's not good. What if okay, so let me try this. Let me try this little trick. Can I perfect? Okay, so yeah, that's something that some of us were talking about in the comment section about whether or not that works, where if you want to make the higher loyalty guy in charge of the stack, just drop him on top of the stack. So it worked in this case. Yeah. That's a nice to know. Nice to know that will work sometimes. And all right, what do we got here? Anyone with decent acumen. That's what I'm looking for. I'm still looking for some 4 acumen dudes. Nope, nope, nope. And no. So 3 acumen. 3 acumen would be fine, but I want to do better here. Ooh, we have a 4-star Turkish general. How about you? Hassan-i Sabah. Probably another historical general, I'm guessing. Only 3 loyalty. That's not great. That's not great. Skilled attacker, so +1 command when attacking. He would be a 5-star general if he attacked. Oof, that's a little bit scary. 2 Berber camels and 2 desert archers. And what else do we have here? Odessa, 2 horse archers and 1 basic spearman. And then up here in Rum, horse archers, spearmen, 3 horse archers, 2 spearmen, 1 peasant. Okay, nothing too crazy. And what does Rum have? Rum, they've already built a mosque. Oh shit, okay, that's pretty decent. A mosque is going to give all of their units trained in Rum +1 morale. And then, yeah, they can use the horse archer to train, or the horse farmer to train horse archers. And what else here? Town watch, yeah, that's fine. Spearmaker, boyar, okay, well they can, yep, this is definitely a true production facility for the Turks. Yeah, I guess they can't really make it. Oh, 685 is not bad for income as well. That's only with 1 farm upgrade as well. Alright, let's take a peek and see what they're doing here in Armenia. And you can see now that we have our watchtowers, we can just kind of spy constantly on Syria and Odessa and even Lesser Armenia as well. They have a port here. And the Byzantines, what do they have? Byzantine infantry, yeah, these guys are scary. These are the guys you don't really want to be fighting with basic spearmen in the beginning of the campaign. A 100-man unit of swords, pretty scary stuff. And the Trebizond archers as well, like they have pretty good attack stats. Yeah, this is a good hybrid archer unit. This is a unit that would beat the absolute crap out of a unit of desert archers in melee combat. Yeah, they have a little shield as well. The desert archers also have a small shield, but it's just the attack stats of the Trebizond archers. They're scary. They can be really good flankers as well. It's either their attack or their charge. I can't quite remember, but one of those stats is very good. All right, we're going to keep working on that keep here in Egypt, and then these other provinces, just going to go straight border fort. You just can't, it's just so cheap. 200 florins, 1 more turn, just do it. You get an extra 5% of loyalty, provincial loyalty, and then it will also help guard you against assassins and spies. Now, there's a thought that you maybe don't build that. Some people, I think, don't like building that because then they can use it, or they can use the absence of it to essentially train their own agents, like their own assassins and spies can be counter agents to basically catch other factions, assassins and spies that are coming into their territories, and they can use that to train their own agents, right? And this is something that I've actually experimented with in Shogun and Medieval, and I'm not doubting the validity of the concept, I just haven't been able to make it work myself. You would think it's a really simple thing. I have had no luck with using this to capture. I feel like the times that I've done this, it's just times that and I've been like coached on this. I've been coached on this from viewers as well. And I think that one of the things that one of my viewers did mention last when I was like struggling with this was that you have to kind of look for the periods of the campaign where the factions are actually able to afford these agents and they're sending them out, because they're not actually doing this throughout the entire campaign. There's going to be moments where they can afford it and there's going to be moments where they can't. And I never thought of it that way because I just kind of figured, yeah, I'm getting enemy agents all campaign long, but maybe that's not the case. Maybe there's going to be like an ebb and flow to this where the times that I was trying to catch enemy agents using my own counter agents and not using border forts were just not the moments that their other factions were sending out their agents. Yeah, I was trying to like use it. The idea is that you just have like a port, right? Because agents can use any port on the map, and then you demolish the border fort, and then put like an assassin or a spy in there, and then yeah, you just catch enemy agents. Just use it like a fly trap, you know, in a spider web, and just catch enemy agents all day long, and just boost up their skill. it's a simple enough concept, but it has not worked for me at all. So that could be something that I could go back to. If I have to demolish these border forts, it's totally fine. It's only 200 florins and it only takes 1 turn to build. It's just a really easy building to kind of work around in that way. So let's get that going in these 4 provinces, and then I can finally start getting on to the fun stuff. But first we have to eat our vegetables. And then same thing here tonight, 1 turn before this fort is finished. And yeah, we're still working on that. And let's go back to just keep pumping out these Nubian spears here in Egypt. And then maybe, yeah, I just want more camels in Arabia, honestly. They're so cheap, they're so nice. And let's see. It's 2. Yeah, I can get a peasant for Arabia there, and so 1 more peasant there, and I don't need to train any peasants here. I can just start bringing him down, and he can come hang out in Arabia soon enough. And now Abu Hamu Nazir ad-Din, this is that peasant unit that I was moving down from Antioch to Arabia. He just picked up this trait, Approachable Manner, in that last end turn, where he gets 1 + 1 acumen and plus 10 happiness. And guess what? That puts him up to 4 acumen, and that is going to make him, in my eyes, a suitable governor. So let's make him the governor of Palestine. It's going to give him 2 loyalty, 3 piety, so not bad at all. And yeah, he already has 0 piety, so maybe not the best thing. Loyalty's at 152. Zeal's at 27, and yeah, it's going to get 3 piety, so that's going to help, I think. And yeah, so 90% Muslim, 5% Jewish, 3% Orthodox Christian, 3% Catholic. And how does he have any dread? He has 2 points of dread. So 152. Yeah, the loyalty went up. Yeah, the dread helps. So let's bring him down. He's going to go to Arabia. And that's also like a nice thing about having these individual units split off from a main stack, is that's how they can gain traits. Because units that are within stacks, right, they're not going to be gaining traits. Now that this Bedouin Camel Warrior is in a stack with this general, he's never going to gain traits as long as he is just, underneath him, right? So it's kind of neat how that works. So let's put these guys together here. And yeah, just as I say that, I'm still going to form stacks. It's just neater that way, right? And let's just double check again to see if we got any more guys with 4 acumen. And so far, no. Yeah, he just got another trait in the end turn as well. He got hard sums, so +1 acumen for him. And that's perfect because he is the governor of Egypt. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 acumen. God damn, that's some good. That's really good. So Egypt is now making 872. I think it was making 820 before, I think, maybe. All right, so that fort is finished here in Sinai. And it's going to be time now, I think, to just build a port. That's probably going to be my next move, yeah. For Sinai, there's no trade goods here, so it's not really a priority, but it's a province, since I am intending on using Sinai as one of my central provinces for housing one of my armies. I think it's going to be important to have a port there because that's going to allow me to move my troops in between my provinces that have a port. So I build ports in every province, whether or not it has trade goods or not. The question is whether or not to prioritize it at this point in the campaign. And I would say, yeah, sure. It's still just that that mobility that it provides on the campaign map is just so crucial. It's so good. So yeah, I would say still get a port. Yeah, at this stage. And then Palestine. Is it port time? Port time. There's no trade goods here, but still probably for the same reason. Let's get a port. And are we doing the same thing here in Tripoli? Let's see here. You know what? I'm actually just thinking. So since Palestine, Tripoli, Arabia, and Antioch are all like frontier provinces, and these buildings, so these are like defensive fortification upgrades, and honestly, like I can't say with full confidence that this is like the meta. Like, I don't know if you should be spending time on these buildings. I think they're really fun though. I really like the flavor that these buildings add. So the Mott is, let me get this right. So a Mott is a mound of earth that provides an improved defensive position for a fort. With a commanding position on top of its Mott, a fort is easier to defend, and so the Mott reduces the losses that the garrison suffers during a siege and also aids defense against assaults. So yeah, it looks like by the sounds of it, this is going to reduce attrition losses during a siege. Is that true? Do the defensive upgrades offer that in this game? Maybe I'd missed that before, but that's what this makes it sound like. And then in addition to that, like in the battle map, it's going to basically, so like a basic fort is just like a wall of wooden palisades with like a little central keep in the middle of it. And the Mott simply just adds a tiny little hill for that central fort to be on top of, so that you have a little bit of a high ground, tiny bit of high ground to defend in an assault if you had to defend your fort, right? So it is not much. It really isn't much, but it's only one turn to build. It's only 100 florins to build. And the second defensive upgrade, each fortification gets 2 defensive upgrades. And the second one is going to be the Bailey. And that's going to be like a second ring wall, basically. It's a little bit different with forts. This sort of represents the earlier construction of forts and castle buildings in this time period. Probably not by 1093. This might be a little bit dated. I don't know. Probably yes for the like the Islamic world. I would say this is a little bit old-fashioned, but maybe like in Scandinavia and such, they still had like these types of buildings. But yeah, the Bailey's a little bit unique because it's not like a ring wall where you would think that like a castle has like a ring wall that's surrounding the inner wall and the inner keep, right? It's a bit different. It's like a little bit like offset. Like it's a different wall that protects like the building inside of it, and then the fort is kind of connected to it. It's a weird, yeah, it's kind of a weird situation because you can kind of like avoid the Bailey and just go right for the fort. But historically, the idea though is that the fort is built on like a high ground, so that you can't really get to it without going through the Bailey first. I think that's kind of the idea, but anyway, the buildings are cheap and they're fun. I like building them. Again, you can probably ignore them, but just on the off chance that I end up getting attacked, it's nice to have. And Egypt already started. Yeah, here's the Bailey right here. So you can kind of see it like in that picture where the outer wall, it surrounds it, but if you just went behind, right, you wouldn't have to go through 2 walls. You can just go through the 1 wall. You see what I'm saying? But like, I think historically the idea though is that this kind of not central, but this inner keep area would be like on a high ground where its back is to like a, you know, like a cliff or something like that. I think that's kind of the idea. All right, moving on. So we're getting those defensive upgrades, and do we want to keep training peasants? Probably not. I think I have my 2 peasants for Arabia, and I have the 2 peasants that I want in all of these provinces. Yeah, that's probably going to be fine. So I guess I'm going to be looking for governors. Well, I can get another peasant here for Egypt just because. Yeah, let's do that. Let's actually retrain you. Get you up to a 100-man unit. And then, yeah, we can just get like another unit of peasants. And sweet, so we can actually get camels here in Sinai. That's nice. So it's not just sand deserts, it's also some rock deserts as well. Interesting. Oh, what is this? I feel like I've never seen this message before. This is interesting. The old man of the mountains. Inspired by faith, given a taste of heaven on earth by their master through the use of hashish, the assassins are willing to slay their way into paradise. Their murderous skills can be put to use by earthly potentates for their own less than heavenly purposes. Huh. And and the message is like centered on Tripoli, which is interesting. I'm not really sure if this means anything. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen this message before. That's very interesting. Now I do know that in Syria, assassins do get a plus. I think it's a +2 valor bonus, but it doesn't say it here. It says they have a +1 valor bonus for Nizaris, which is an archer unit which is available to the Egyptians. So I'm pretty sure, right? So I'm going to want to train my Nizaris there in Syria. Interesting. Okay. But I'm pretty sure that I can also get a +2 valor bonus for assassins that are trained here. And it doesn't say, it's like a hidden thing. It's kind of neat. So with upgrades, I think you can end up with a 4 valor assassin just right off the bat, which is pretty insane. It's pretty scary stuff. And I wonder if that's sort of what that message was hinting at. But it wasn't highlighting Syria, it was highlighting Tripoli, which is interesting. Huh, yeah, cool stuff. But now that, now that my Mott and Bailey are built in my frontier regions, now it's time to think about what do I want to get going here. And let's see, Antioch I probably really just want to rush trade in Antioch, I think. Now it's a little bit risky here because I'm not, really defending Antioch. I just have 2 peasants garrisoning this province. I do have some Byzantine troops here, some Turkish troops here. But Antioch wasn't making for farm income. 541. 2 turns for that to get going. 2 turns for the trading post. I think I want to get a port. 4 turns, so hopefully no one attacks me and interrupts that building from being built. And then yeah, Tripoli, same thing. Palestine, same thing. Just get ports in all of those provinces. And then Sinai is still working on a port. Egypt is still working on a keep. And then Arabia. What do I want to do here in Arabia? I'm not quite sure. It's a province that I feel like it really can't do too much. I prefer to have my troop producing provinces on the sea so that I can transport them quickly. Anything that's landlocked takes that extra turn to move it into, the Palestine or Sinai, and then into, moving them around using my boats. So it's just an extra little bit of a hassle. I prefer not to do that, but also the thing is with this game, unlike Shogun where there's less to build, in this game there's actually quite a lot. You need soldiers, you need agents, you need boats, and you need, it's a lot. You need different types of soldiers. You need cavalry, you need infantry, you need archers, and you kind of need your provinces to kind of sort of specialize in these different things. Now, over time, you will have long enough time in a campaign to sort of cross-specialize in different areas for certain provinces, just because you will have the money and the time to do so. But in the beginning, you do sort of need every province to pull its weight in a way. You kind of need everyone on hand to contribute, right? And I'm thinking, let's see, Arabia, everyone else might be too busy in the early game building boats. That might be a pretty extreme priority for me. So I'm either thinking Arabia can get archers. That's one idea. I don't like having... See, the thing is, I know I'm going to be getting archers in Sinai because Sinai has a +1 valor bonus to Mamluk horse archers, which it requires an archer building. Or I could go agents in Arabia and get like the brothel, which or the tavern, which lets me train assassins, and the brothel, which lets me train spies. So that's another idea. So maybe here's what I do. Do town watch. It only takes 2 turns to build. only takes 200 florins. This is going to allow me to build the boyar, which I believe only takes another 2 turns. Yeah, it's just another 2 turns to build a boyar. So in 4 turns, Arabia can start training desert archers, and that's just going to allow me to sort of bulk up my armies in the early game, and then I can switch Arabia on over to agent production, whether that's going to be assassins, spies, or even I can build like some religious buildings in Arabia and start getting some alims out on the field so that they can start spying for me. Hey, and looky here, so another historical general looks like Najamuddin Ilghazi of Aleppo, another person I will have to look up. And yeah, thanks again, by the way, to the viewer who looked up my other historical general. Is it Al-Afdal, is it? Yeah. Yeah, one of my viewers, yeah, looked him up, and yeah, so he was one of the viziers for the Fatimid Empire, so essentially one of the strongmen that basically ruled the empire instead of the, they were caliphs, right? Yeah, because they were Shia dynasty, so the caliphs weren't very strong at this time period, and the viziers in most cases were often ruling in place, a lot like the shogun for the emperor in Japan. So yeah, this guy is one of the viziers, and yeah, this is going to be someone that I don't know anything about him, so it's going to be worth checking him out and learning a little bit more about this period, this history of this time period. Ilghazi of Aleppo. So what? Aleppo was like here-ish? Was it east of Edessa? Is it on the map, or I'm not quite sure. It might be a little bit off the map, maybe. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's in that direction, I believe. And he is good. Very loyal, good piety, good dread, good command, good acumen. 4 acumen's good, so I can make him the last governor, the governor of Arabia. Yeah, there we go. So give him 1 more shield of loyalty, and Arabia's income is going to be boosted from 55 up to a whopping 78. How about that? In addition to all of that fun stuff, he's also a fine leader, much like Al-Afghal. Plus 4 morale and plus 2 loyalty. Hot damn. Yeah, Egypt has, they got some good generals so far. I'm not unhappy with this. You, where do I want you to go? Maybe, yeah, come down to Egypt, actually. I would like to have 1 decent general down there, even though I don't intend on really beefing up the defenses here. I do intend on keeping it pretty light in hopes that will also incentivize the Almohads to keep their defenses light as well. Still, just in case, you know. It would be nice to have something down there. Egypt is, in fact, my capital, right? So it's pretty important to make sure that it does not get sacked. Especially as I'm like, what, 6 turns into this build here for this keep. So yeah, let's not let that get interrupted, right? And now that the port is finished here in Sinai, let's just go straight for the boyar. Yeah, let's do town watch. And then boyar after that, because as I mentioned before, I will be building up to Mamluk horse archers eventually over time. So Arabia, yeah, you can get that boyar here, and that's going to be good. And then let's just double check that I can get desert archers. Yes, I can. I know that's another geographic limitation sort of thing. And then yeah, 2 turns left before all of these other ports are built. Yep, that looks good. Okay. And my emissary, he's just hanging out. He's just kind of exploring the world, you know? Looks like there's a damaged unit of Slav warriors here for the Byzantines. And the fact that he's damaged means that they're fighting someone. Maybe just because they took Serbia. I don't think they start off with Serbia. Yeah, the Byzantines are not at war with anyone, so... yeah, they probably just took Serbia off the rebels. And now that I have that town watch built in Arabia, you know what? I may as well get some urban militia. even though the Bedouin Camel Warriors essentially is going to be performing the same role in the early game, which is of killing enemy bodyguard units, it's still a 60-man unit of, you know, infantry with a bonus versus armor. Like, it's not useless, right? And support cost of 30 compared to support cost of 40. So yeah, the support cost is going to be a little bit cheaper than the Bedouin Camel Warriors as well. So let's just get a couple units of them. Just get a little bit of infantry bite for my armies. How about that? Other than that, though, I think we're looking pretty good. Yeah, that's all looking good. So let's keep moving along. Do I have any other sons on the way? Yeah, Prince Nazir is going to come of age in this end turn. So let's drop a save. And let's move on to the year 1098. So the Germans are the strongest, and their emperor is here in Franconia. Okie dokie. And yeah, here we go. Prince Nazir. What do we got? Is he a 2-star general? Okay, so not as good as his 2 older brothers. And what do we have here? Eloquent, so +1 piety and +1 acumen for that guy, but he is not a governor or a general, so it doesn't really matter. Prince Nazir, irritable, so +1 dread, that's good. And the natural leader, so yeah, +2 morale, +1 loyalty, that's also good. Let's take a closer look at you. So piety is good, loyalty is good, dread's good, acumen 0, but command's okay. So yeah, he's okay. You know, it's fine, I suppose. You can hang out with dad and the brothers, and that's it for sons. We have 3 that are of age and no more on the way. So let's see, Prince El Mistali, 24 years old, and he's the one with really bad loyalty. That's going to be you. Well, he's up to 3 loyalty now, but still, I would probably want to keep him close to his father still. So 24, dad is 46. Okay. Okay, so hopefully Al-Mustali has some sons on the way. Because by the time he becomes king, there's going to be like roughly, you know, like 16 or 20 years left before he needs a son to come of age. He has his younger brothers, sure, but still, I'd rather it not come down to that. Hey, and now the keep is finally finished here in Egypt. That's a nice step. That's a nice step. Look at that tier 2 fortification finished up here, and Boyar is finished in Arabia as well. And yes, my ports are finished. Yes, everything is coming together here. El Afdal, irritable, so +1 dread, but you are not a governor, so it does not matter. Let's see, this is the... Can't remember, this is not a governor. No, it would say lord if it was a governor, I believe, right? And yeah, same with you. No, it does not matter. That's one way. This is just as a tip to like sort of see what matters here in the vice and virtue summary, because this is going to get very big over the course of the game, and it's just going to be a long list. So obviously look for royalty first, right? Look for your king, your sultan, whatever, and then look for princes. Then look for lords. Lords are going to be your governors. It's going to say that. I think that's the same for Muslims. No, it might be emirs. Emirs are your governors, right? That's different. That makes sense. there you go. Yeah, so the emir is your governor if you're playing a Muslim faction. And yes, so this does matter. Emir Nazir ad-Din, secret perversion. So that's going to be nothing yet. So the secret vices don't matter until they're made public. So his perversion, his preference for young boys has not been discovered yet, so it doesn't matter. When it is discovered, it's going to be minus something piety, like -3 piety or something, which, as we've seen, can affect the loyalty of a province. But so far, the secret is safe. And then for this emir, he's a builder, so +10 happiness for the province that he is, governing. So that's pretty good. And yeah, look at that. We got ports all along now. Yep, ports. Yeah, that feels pretty good. Now we can just move these guys all up in... Wait, what? Why can't I move my guys? Oh yeah, god damn it, I need... I need boats, Jesus. Oh, and Shogun, you don't need boats, but I've been playing this game for long enough. I should know that. Oh man, I just had my brain just froze for a second. Yeah, I need boats to connect my provinces, then I can do that. Oh god, yeah, I'm getting there, guys. Jesus. Oh dear, here we go. All right, so now we can start training these desert archers here in Arabia. Let's get those guys going. Sinai, let's get some urban militia going here in Sinai. And what buildings do we want now? I think maybe, it's risky to go keep in Antioch before I can actually put a stack there to defend it. You know? I feel like it's the safer bet to go for these smaller buildings that only take 2 turns to build. You know what I'm saying? I think you know what I'm saying. But how long is it going to be before I get a keep in Antioch? Or, I mean, sorry, a full stack in Antioch. Maybe not that long. I'm kind of pumping troops out, you know? And, you know, once I get these full stacks in Sinai and Tripoli, I can just go ahead and put a full stack in Antioch. That can be my next objective, soldier-wise. You know, so yeah, maybe just play things safe. Go for a trading post for now, and then like the improved farmland after that, because that's another 2 turns. You know, just do the smaller buildings first. And actually, let's do it the other way around, because I'm going to make more income off of this than the trading post initially. Yeah, so let's do that. Tripoli, however, you know, I'm going to be defending Tripoli with a full stack. So here, I can probably, what's the farm income? 585. I feel like going keep here. Yeah, that's what I feel like doing. And then Palestine is another province that I'm not really defending with the full stack. Farm income is like okay, isn't it? 486 is not bad. So yeah, getting some improved farmland here wouldn't be the worst idea. But I do want that town watch so that I can train archers here as well. So let's do that. Let's do the town watch there in Palestine. Arabia. Do I want anything in Arabia? So the siege engineer, this is unlocked when I get the boyar. The boyar allows me to build the siege engineer, and this is going to allow me to train those naphtha throwers, which are those grenade guys. Now for the ballistas are a pretty bad unit. It's not really good. It can kind of help you, like, it's meant for shooting at people and not fortifications, but it can help you get through a fort, just a tier 1 fort. You know, because it can shoot at it while staying out of range of the fort's defenses, like the archers that are like built into the fort. But it's such a, I mean, like I don't plan on attacking anyone right now, so I don't really need a ballista. But the naphthas are interesting. That's kind of like the only tier 1 unit that I have access to that can help me defeat enemy infantry reliably. So that's an interesting idea to go for naphtha throwers in Arabia. There's just no point in me getting, you know, an inn. Spearmaker is not the worst idea either. But I feel like getting some naphtha throwers just as insurance, really. It's another cheap building, 200 florins, 2 years to build. And just, I mean, the Turks have some decent armies up here. Not really the kind of stuff that naphtha is good against. But, you know, it can still blow up a camel, you know, so, yeah. Horse archers, and, yeah, there's some, like, that's the thing. You see, like, a bunch of peasants and basic spearmen, and you're like, oh, those units are going to beat me. Yeah, they're not. They're not. But they're going to hold you up for a while if you have nothing that's good at killing them. You know, like, will my Nubian spears beat basic spearmen? Sure they will, but not quickly. And if you're not winning quickly, then it's not a winning engagement. You know, you want to win fast, you want to lose slow. So, you know, this is the definition of lose slow units. Well, specifically the spearmen. Peasants can get munched, but not by Nubian spears. Peasants can fight just, you know, pretty much most spearmen and last for longer than you would want them to. So you want to clear out the chaff, right? Just having units that can beat other units that's not enough. You want to win your winning engagements quickly so that you can go reinforce other parts of the battlefield. And that's something that the naphtha throwers can help me do, is clearing out the chaff so that I can, you know, win a local superiority in other parts of the battlefield. So yeah, let's get that siege engineer going in Arabia. And let's see, that's good. Sinai, what do I want in Sinai? Boyar time? It's Boyar time. Yes, it is. Let's go there. Get some desert archers going there in Sinai. And then Egypt. Ooh, oh yeah, sweet. This is where it gets fun. All this fun stuff. So I think, and again, I know this isn't like the meta, but I want a curtain wall. This is going to be the defensive upgrade for my keep. And as you can see on the campaign map, the outer wall of the keep is made out of wood, which isn't as strong as stone. I would, you know what? I take that back when I said that this is probably not the meta. A lot of fortification defenses probably aren't, you know, like the meta, but this is a pretty big one. Having a second wall of stone is a really big one. This is something that I really overlooked in my Viking invasion campaigns, because the keep is the highest tier of fortification that you can build. And I didn't get the upgrades. I just was thinking that it's going to be fine. That's fine. I'll be fine. But the thing is, with a wooden wall, any unit, any infantry unit can march up to any section, not the gate, any part of it, and just start throwing torches at it, and they can break through any section of the wall. And so it's hard to like have a choke point with your freaking wall. It's kind of a frustrating thing. In addition to that, the gate that comes with the outer wall in this curtain wall defensive upgrade, I'm pretty sure that's a tougher gate. Like, it's an iron gate, so it takes a lot of time to get through it. And I believe it also comes with oil defenses, so there's going to be pouring hot oil on any people attacking that gate. And that gate is going to be the only part of that outer wall that can be attacked by an infantry unit in order to break it down. So they'll be taking a lot of casualties. A unit can't just march up another section of the stone wall, the curtain wall, and just, you know, break it down with torches and hacking at it. They would need artillery to break down another section of the wall that's not the gate. So this is probably a pretty good one to get. Again, for their cost, 200 florins, 2 turns, yeah, easy. Let's do that. And just because I'm a sucker, I probably will get the ballista tower upgrades as well. Just because I'm a sucker. And then we will get on into the fun stuff after that, I think. And you know what? I just thought of an interesting idea for my emissary, because I know that these Catholic factions that can crusade, which are not all of them, it's going to be the Italians, the Germans, the Spanish, the English, the French, and that's it, I think. Maybe the Sicilians. I know they're going to be crusading against me, but if I can get allies with like all of them, then whoever is going to cast that first stone is going to lose influence by attacking me. Now the rest of them will break their alliance with me once, you know, their Christian ally has declared a crusade against me. So that's not going to be an issue for them. But by getting an alliance with like as many of these guys as I can, maybe I can force that one faction, that first faction that you know launches that first crusade. Maybe I can get them to lose a bit of influence, and that can cause some instability. Now there's a Italian emissary here, and that Almohad emissary that I saw at the beginning of this episode here. I thought he was going to come talk to my Sultan. He did not. He just used my port. He just used me. He used my port to go somewhere else and talk to someone else more important, I guess. So I do not have an alliance with the Almohads. And, but I'm going to try to get this alliance with the Italians here. I mean, my guy is here, but I think that by hovering him over the Italian emissary, I think that means he's going to find the Italian king in this region and go talk to him. And then yeah, after that, let's just work on the rest of them. You know, the Germans, the French. Let's try to get these guys allies so that they're going to end up hurting themselves once they declare that first crusade. Other than that though, let's see. I mean, there's still, is it complete peace? No, there is war now between the Turks and the Byzantines. Ooh, okay. Okay, I wish. Maybe, gosh, okay, so maybe I should train an emissary somewhere, because I want more spies in that region, like up there. Huh, do I do it? Do I do it? Yeah, let's get an emissary trained up, because I want eyes up here. I want to know what's going on with the war between the Turks and the Byzantines. So let's do that, and then the next turn is going to be, it's going to be the year 1100, and that's going to be the first counting period for my homelands. So I am not going to be ahead. I'm going to be pretty far behind, I think, because my homelands in the beginning of the campaign are pretty low. But yeah, let's just kind of drop a save and end this turn and see how it's looking. Yeah, so the Turks are attacking Lesser Armenia. That's interesting. I wouldn't mind that. Yeah, that's fine with me, because that means I have allies. Well, that means that, like, you know, the Turks are covering me right there, because I am not allied with the Byzantines, and now my allies, the Turks, are basically covering that front of mine, so that's okay. The Byzantines are the richest, are they, eh? And this is indicating that the Byzantines are in Kiev? Huh. Okay, that's a bold move. And let's see, now the Byzantines, oh, okay. Yeah, just like that, the Byzantines are offering an alliance, and yeah, the answer is not yet. Later, yes. But no, not yet. And who else? The King of Aragon, okay. Yeah, I don't mind that either. The Aragonese actually do have a glorious achievement objective to crusade into Antioch. So they are a potential crusading threat. I've never seen them grow strong before, but just in case, yeah, I can accept that. They're allied with the Byzantines, the Danes, the English, the Italians, and the Spanish. So let's do that. And yes, I got my alliance with the Italians. Nice. That was easy. Alright, Al Alfdal, what you got? Argumentative, so +1 dread and +2 valor. That's awesome. That's going to make him a better fighter. And then, what do we have here? One of the peasants that's garrisoning Antioch is now an honorable warrior. +1 morale, +1 dread. Well, no, -1 dread, sorry. And unfortunately, though, he's not going to be leading any battles anytime soon. And here we have it, homelands. So we have gained 7 points just for securing our homelands objectives. And yeah, that's pretty weak, but that's just what it is. 3 points for Egypt, and then 1 point for Antioch, Palestine, Arabia, and Sinai. So yeah, that is that. Oh, we got a lot of company here. Yeah, the Turks, the Italians, the Byzantines, and the Aragonese are all hanging out talking to my Sultan. Looks like a busy guy. And I can send this emissary up here to start taking a peek around. I feel like typically the Turks do have an initial good push against the Byzantines, but it seems like it's often the case that the Byzantines are able to stabilize and push back. So it's going to be very interesting to keep an eye on that confrontation and see how that all shakes out. In the meantime, I'm just going to be sitting here all happy and building up my economy and just sort of playing SimCity back here. It's just going to be really peaceful and enjoyable for me. But you know what? That is all. Going to have to wait until next time. As always, I hope you have enjoyed this one, and thank you very much for watching. This has been Concept playing Medieval Total War. Thank you very much, and goodbye.